there's a simple rule in politics. Never ever be surprised by what happens in politics.
The face of truth is open. The eyes of truth are bright. The lips of truth are ever closed. The head of truth is upright. The breast of truth stands forward. The gaze of truth is straight. Truth has neither fear nor doubt. Truth has patience to wait. The battle of life, truth in the end shall win. The image of truth is the cross. Wisdom's message is its rod.
I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crying in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
It is more of the same as far as the island's crime problem is concerned. According to the acting police commissioner, he has a crime-fighting plan which will be presented to the Prime Minister and Minister with responsibility for national security today. And the winners of Carnival 2024 are asking, where is the money? Good afternoon to you. Welcome to another edition of the most monitored talk show in the world. And that is NewsSpin on Power 97.9 FM. The broadcast is also on the NewsSpin Facebook page as well as the NewsSpin YouTube channel. We'll be together until 2 o'clock this afternoon. My name is Timothy Poleon. I'll be hearing from you at 452-2979. That's 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, 716-2026. If you're watching and listening to this broadcast today out of St. Lucia and you are on the job, that means that you are persons of little means financially. Because most people, if they had their way, they had a choice, they would be ensconcing themselves at home, comfortably so, today because of the inclement weather. But anyway, you don't have a choice. You have to be at work, and I'm happy to be of service to you. Crime. Should we be praising the government for all its hard work as far as crime is concerned? I'm asking the question because for some people, this government should not be taken to task at all. This government should not be criticized for the mayhem and the disorder that is reigning in our country right now. With so many of our young people being shot and killed and injured. From the outset, let me make it clear. And it's worth repeating because we have done this before on this program. We cannot blame the government when somebody decides to take a gun and to kill somebody else. Can't blame the government for the act. But what we ought to be doing is holding our government accountable for the number of illegal firearms and ammunition that are entering this country by whatever means. It is your responsibility as a government to protect our borders. Why do we have a Marine unit of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force? Why do we have a Customs Department? It is your responsibility to send a message to criminal elements or people who are thinking about arming themselves illegally that this will not be tolerated. And if and when you are arrested and charged in connection with some gun crime, that you will be made to feel the full force of the law. And therefore, it is not worth investing whatever resources that you have in arming yourselves with such weapons. And equally, there's a responsibility for civil society or for citizens to apply the pressure on the government to ensure that we have a functioning judiciary. Because a lot of people are arming themselves, unfortunately, is because they do not trust the legal system. Somebody was just relaying an experience. He was threatened by an individual. And that person made a report to the police. And the police informed him, boy, you'll have to handle this thing on your own. As incredible as it sounds, that is what the person said. The advisor was given to him by the police. All I could say to you, quote, all I could say to you, protect yourself. Amidst all what that is happening in our country, now somebody will tell you, who do you blame for that? That kind of laissez-faire attitude, kind of irresponsible, infantile, unprofessional behavior. Can't blame the government. But the government has to set the tone. The government has to set an example and give the impression that it will not be tolerating mediocrity at any level at all within its ranks, whether it's in cabinet, whether it's at the post office, whether it's at the Ministry of Infrastructure, the Ministry of Health, National Security, you name it. Set the tone. And this government is failing the people on several fronts. Again, people don't want to hear that. What is leadership about? Why do we have a cabinet of ministers? Why do we have a prime minister? Why do we have a deputy prime minister, etc.? I mean, not necessarily to micromanage, but to set in place a tone, an ethos, a plan, a clear indication that this is the way forward, not a helter-skelter kind of approach. And that is what we are experiencing. Whether you're going to believe it or not, whether you're going to accept it, that is what we are going through at this point in time in our country. So amidst all the crime, all the violence, when your leader can say, I am not a policeman. So therefore, don't expect me to take the fight to the criminals. Don't expect me to lead the charge as far as ensuring that we have a safer St. Lucia. With all the problems in our health sector, what if the health minister, Moses Jean-Baptiste, were to say, man, I'm not a medical doctor. I'm into the arts, I'm into La Wars and La Marguerite and those things. I don't know about a hospital. I don't know about the health sector. That clearly is not the approach, that kind of attitude that should be exhibited by our leaders. It even comes across as somebody who is insensitive to the plight and the sufferings of his people. So the trend continues. We're not manufacturing the news. We're reporting and we're analyzing. Yet another homicide on Saturday. Police received the report at 7:40 p.m. of a shooting at Bois Patat. The deceased, 29-year-old male, also of Bois Patat, Bradley Travis Cole. That's on Saturday. Then on Sunday, 11:20 p.m., Pigeon Point shooting. A man shot in his lower extremities, conveyed to the OKE hospital. Passed away on Sunday. He passed away today. 21-year-old Nixonville of Balata. And we'll show his picture. Young males, 21 and 29. And I think we're about homicide number 60. And we're not being trivial about this. Not a case of, 60, we just lost 60 dogs or 60 pigs. We have lost 60 precious lives since the start of this year. Now blame the gangs. Talk about gangs members of gangs going after each other. Talk about people taking matters into their own hands. Whatever the problem. But in an organized and civilized society, the person who's at the helm, and he does not want to hear that, He does not want to hear that. Boss, you are in charge. You have control of the resources of the state. You get to speak with the police commissioner whenever you want, or any government minister. When people are going to the OKEU hospital and not getting treatment in a timely manner, likewise, what the poor employees, the staff there are going through in St. Jude. And those people who are seeking medical treatment, who are frustrated, they don't know where to turn to, they don't know who to call. You can just pick up the phone, Mr. Prime Minister, and speak with anyone who is in a leadership position. You can even call me from time to time. That is the kind of power that you have in this country. And so don't tell me it's not your responsibility to do whatever that is possible to seek answers and resolutions, and do so visibly, so that you can bring some kind of relief to the poor souls of this country in so many areas. You have to get your hands dirty, Mr. Prime Minister. You have to immerse yourself in the problems of the nation. And not just convene a press conference once in a while, and then you host your annual conferences of your SLP constituency group, etc. And then, you put on a show about protecting the victory and all that. I think the bigger picture for us right now is that you, Mr. Prime Minister, you must assume some kind of role in the nation's crime-fighting effort. So a parent who just decides, I will finance the school books, I will buy the bag and the shoe, etc., and send you to school, and that's it. I'm not a school teacher. Your teacher should deal with your education. I should not even review your books. Most responsible parents do not behave that way. And, Mr. Prime Minister, you need to follow the examples of some of the leaders of the Caribbean. For example, Gaston Brown, meeting the gang leaders. He's doing something, enacting legislation, talking tough, meeting on the ground with the people, speaking their language, addressing those day-to-day issues that are plaguing so many of our citizens. Prime Minister really wanted to be at the helm of this country. He got it. And he does not demonstrate the willingness and the ability to get on the ground and address those issues. You will not record any kind of success as far as crime is concerned, Mr. Prime Minister, if you just dole out the funds to various interest groups, if you just provide the police with the ammunition, the equipment, with the vehicles, and that's it. You are not showing leadership, sir. You are not doing it at all, at all, at all. You are missing his in action, and your intervention is desperately needed. President George Bush, in the aftermath of 9/11, not a soldier, but he was on the ground. He was speaking to the citizens of the United States. They were crestfallen because over 3,000 people perished. But he took his megaphone and he was there doing what? Consoling the people, giving them the assurance that we will get to the bottom of this tragedy. He did that. All those things are the responsibilities. That's the requirement. That's the responsibility that comes with the job of being Prime Minister. And more so To add insult to injury, you are the National Security Minister. And you will not give that post up at all. You'll create other positions that seem to replicate that same portfolio, but you won't give it up. Crime prevention, minister with responsibility for crime prevention. What are the requirements? What are the responsibilities? I really don't know. You have explained it, but I really can't buy it. I really cannot. You have just created another layer of bureaucracy as far as I'm concerned. So the Prime Minister by now should have received in his hand crime fighting plan prepared by the acting police commissioner, Mr. Verngard. How we know that? Mr. Verngard spoke about it last week during his maiden press conference.
The plan that I'm going to present is a plan that have been discussed with my senior command. It essentially not my plan, but it's our plan on how we intend to deal with crime and criminality and road safety and everything else in St. Lucia. I am really not one with a lot of lip service. I'm more an individual who is minded to action. Okay? And this is what the plan will exhibit. How I intend to take an organized and systematic approach to deal with things like road safety and crime control. So it is certainly not a rehashing of plans that we've had before.
Just up there and saw the island's acting police commissioner, Mr. Verngard. God alone knows the task that is before him is a difficult one. But again, we did not ask him to show an interest in the job. It was offered to him. He accepted, and we expect him to deliver. We expect no less from Mr. Verngard. If you're appointed, we expect. If you're elected, we expect even more from you. St. Jude Hospital. Today marks 15 years since that fire destroyed that health institution. And since then, we have nothing to show for its rehabilitation, its recovery, reconstruction. Almost nothing to show. Because I'm saying almost because the previous administration constructed the hospital, then the SLP came into office saying they're going back to whatever's there, whatever they were working on, etc., etc. And you still have the staff of the St. Jude Hospital working in such deplorable conditions at the George Odlum Stadium. Don't talk about the plight of the patients there. I mean, those people who are in authority, in leadership positions, is continue to fail the people, you know. Whether it is in the area of crime or healthcare. But that St. Jude story, that's remarkable, you know. And you have people in leadership positions who still have the gumption to come forward and to talk boldly as if they too are not part of this problem. Well, not even a problem. This embarrassment that we have been subjected to for 15 years now. 10 years plus another 5. So if you're born in 2009, you are 15 years now. Prime Minister after Prime Minister promised to construct that hospital. Now, I'm not just simplifying this. But 9 months to construct a home. Most homes. 9 months. And the hospital, I'm told, at least 7 or 8 years thereabout. But in the case of St. Lucia, Kootenai style, passing this headache from one administration to another, and they're all claiming to have the interests of the people at heart. They're all pretending. And you know, they're going after each other, and then the poor people are caught in the middle. Because if this administration embarks on this project, then another one comes in, ignores it, starts from scratch on another project, and time is of the essence. No hospital is constructed. Millions of dollars have been expended, have been utilized, so-called to construct a hospital, rehabilitate, whatever you want to call it. And we have nothing to show for that. So the same Philip J. Pierre, who would have been in office between 2011 and 2016, he's now spearheading this project. And the same Stephenson King, who was prime minister when the fire gutted the building, he's still in politics, infrastructure minister. He's helping address this particular issue, etc., etc. But no one is to be blamed. You have to blame some inanimate object, something that does not have any kind of life. But don't blame human beings, breathing creatures who are there to represent the interest of the people. That's what politicians should aim to do. People who are in government and ministers of health. And you had Alvina Reynolds, who's now the president of the Senate. She was minister of health, promising, etc. You have former Prime Minister Dr. Kenny Anthony, who is now a backbencher. And the story goes on. And in the meantime, the people of St. Lucia, and in particular people in the South, they are suffering in silence. You had various interest groups, coalition for this and coalition for that in V4. Not hearing about them. So, borrowed over $200 million, and all of a sudden, we can hope and pray that this structure or some hospital will be completed and in time for the next general election. And wait for it. Politicians will be boasting. See what we did? Should be praising us and reward us with your votes for having completed that project. Now, do you believe? You know, people like to talk about colonialism and black people and white people, etc., and slavery. Don't want to be controversial. But sometimes I believe we're demonstrating that we can't take care of ourselves. We can't take care of our business. We always need some foreign intervention. So we can't address our crime problem in V4. We invite the RSS. Do you believe, had we invited some people, let's not stretch it and go to the UK or the US, some experts, a group of experts, Barbados, Trinidad, Jamaica, the Bahamas, etc. And we removed our local political interests, our politicians, our prime ministers, ministers of health, etc., from this St. Jude Hospital project. I believe it would have been completed by now. Would have been completed. Would have cost us a lot less. But you know, we are an independent country. We attained our political independence. And we are a group of black people who can take care of our business. So why not put us in charge of this project? Still can't deliver it. Isn't it a shame? It is shameful, you know, that we have failed to deliver on this project. 15 years. 15 years. We have wasted a lot of time on this project. Whoever completes that hospital, there's nothing to praise you for, there's nothing to celebrate. Just quietly open the hospital and have a quick transfer from the George Odlum Stadium to whatever structure that's completed. To hell with it. And don't come there preaching and expecting or wanting praise and for it to be glorified and put on a pedestal, etc. And believe you me, no one will be held accountable. Despite us having a special prosecutor, no one would be sent to the Body Lake Correctional Facility. But we just concentrating on poor, marginalized people to arrest them and send them to Body Lake. That's what we do. But you have white-collar crime as well. You have white-collar crime. That's a clear example. Let me hear from you. I know you have heard from me for too long, so let me hear from you. In the meantime, we have a press release from the St. Lucia Medical and Dental Association. And we will deliberately put on the screen the video of St. Jude, the fire of September 2009, while I read this. It reads, today, September the 9th, marks 15 years since the devastating fire which destroyed parts of St. Jude Hospital, forcing an emergency move to the George Odlum Stadium, which was meant to temporarily house health services. 15 years, we as a nation continue to wait. 15 years, our collective souls weep. We ever remain hopeful. Hopeful that our leaders across the board will understand the complexities of healthcare and prioritize it. Hopeful that we all will truly give credence to the statement, a healthy nation is a wealthy nation, and take individual and collective responsibility for our health and well-being. Hopeful that St. Jude will rise again. We recognize and commend the commitment and dedication of staff who have provided exemplary service under conditions which can best be described as inadequate and subpar. You truly are the unsung heroes of this unfortunate story. We continue to stand with you and with every St. Lucian who has had to seek care at the facility. We will soon welcome home our triumphant Olympian, Julian Alfred. What better time to expedite the move out of the stadium and a return of said facility to our athletes? What better time to expedite the move to the new St. Jude Hospital? We are cognizant of the fact that the building does not a hospital make. We therefore urge those responsible to ensure that preparations are in place for a full transition to the new hospital, that all stakeholders are fully engaged and apprised of the progress of said transition, as failure to do so will inevitably result in a compromised process and, by extension, compromised delivery of health care to our citizens. The eyes of the world are on us. The hopes and dreams of a nation for better health care remain unrealized. We cannot afford to wait any longer. We have waited 15 years. It is time to reopen St. Jude Hospital, a climate-resilient, fully functional St. Jude. We the people will accept no less. The SLMDA stands ready and willing to do our part to ensure a successful transition. Our commitment to you, the citizens of St. Lucia, is unwavering, and we will continue to advocate on your behalf. It is time for St. Jude to rise from the ashes. It is time. Press release by the St. Lucia Medical and Dental Association to mark the 15th anniversary of the St. Jude Hospital fire. Let me go through some of your WhatsApp messages while we await your calls at 452-2979. 452-2979. And we have a WhatsApp call. Good afternoon to you. You are on the air. Please go ahead with your contribution, caller.
Good day to you.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon. So we had, I'm not going to say anything that will implicate anything, but we had people like Monty. There was Dr. Reynolds, I think. There's another older gentleman. I'm calling on them because they were the concerned citizens of Vieux-Fort. And I'm in Vieux-Fort every day, and I'm not seeing those guys. I don't know where they disappeared to. But somehow nobody's concerned today. But Tim, for the longest while we've known Vieux-Fort had been, how will I put it, ignored by politicians, by parties. And we had a man who started some good things in Vieux-Fort. Okay, so the hospital a plan was put out where you were going to have this nice hospital. I said I would take a picture of the thing that is going up there, and I forgot it. But Tim, right now, all I saw was a big, tall box, like a structure. That's what they have, that's the word they're using, so I'm going to use it too. I don't know if it will have what it will have, but I really don't know what it is. It's looking like a fortress by the airport. Nobody has said to us what it will be. If that's the, how you call it, the tower for the airport.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we in the South are not worthy of anything nice. We are not worthy of anything good. Okay? There was another box, they call it, at St. Jude's, which was the plans came out so nice. They figured that was too nice for us in the South. They returned to the tin roof building. I mean, when you're in the hurricane season, Tim, we're in a hurricane-prone area, and that place is, I mean, St. Lucia is, you cannot go back and build a hospital with tin roof, galvanized. I saw in Dominica when they had the last hurricane that the back of trees were peeled off. Imagine the wind was so strong that it peeled off the skin of trees. And to think that the tin roof you have there will hold. So nothing good is enough for us in Vieux-Fort. We don't deserve anything good in Vieux-Fort.
But there's a hidden message, caller. There's a hidden message in the press release by the St. Lucia Medical and Dental Association. And they're saying there, we hope something that could be climate resilient. I don't know if you heard that.
You see these people?
Climate resilient.
People, I do not take their word. Their word don't mean anything for me. Because by now, these people should have already taken a stand and caused us to have a good hospital in the South. Okay, they have the power to do it. They could have done it. Okay, in absence of everybody else, the doctors, nurses, the hospital workers could have caused us to have a better hospital in the South. Don't you think so? They have the power for it, Tim.
They do.
Exactly. So I am not taking their word for anything. They can say what they want until doomsday. I don't listen to them. I don't have time for them because they could have done better. But at the end of the day, what I'm seeing in Vieux-Fort, we do not deserve anything good. There was a horse race track. Instead of renewing the man's license for him to continue doing what he was doing, they never renewed the man's license and they go and grade a patch where there's a piece of pitch on it and for people to go and run their horses. So that's what we deserve in the South. Koshoni, Tibutik, the rest. That's what we deserve. So it's good for us in South because we keep on putting the same nonsense there. We keep on supporting the same nonsense. All Kenny and Tony have done in Vieux-Fort is footpaths. Okay? Nothing else but footpaths. Okay? And that is what they want. That is what they okay with. So let Vieux-Fortians stay in their mud. Let the people in the South stay in their papi show because that's what we want. We're not willing to move. We're not willing to change. All we're seeing is party colors. Have a good day, too.
You too, sir. Thank you so much for calling. This is the most monitored talk show in the world. Still to come, the winners of Carnival 2024. Well, they won their money. Back in just a bit.
It all started with a penny. For over 85 years, we have invested in our farmers, fishermen, people, and our country. When we were called to serve, we were here. We understand what is valuable to our people and our country. That is why we support all industries, including tourism. We are the bridge towards a brighter future and economic growth. When our people, government, and businesses called upon us, we were here. 85 years later, First National Bank St. Lucia Limited is here for you.
Lazarus's Funeral Home is here for you. Lazarus's Private Cemetery offers a peaceful resting place for your loved ones. With tranquil settings, visitation, and reflection, we believe in the compassionate care of all our departed loved ones. Lazarus's Private Cemetery, let us help you create a final resting place. Make it special. Make it Lazarus's Funeral Home, your friend in a time of need. Payment plans are available for tombs. Call us in Vidbuta at 452-7491 or in New Dock Road, VA4, 454-6555.
Lucilex remote options are available to serve you every weekday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Call or send a WhatsApp message to 285-6796, 285-7859, 285-3593, 285-3329, or 285-8640. Or send an email to customersupport@lucilec.com for assistance. Lucilec encourages you to use the available options for doing business with us remotely.
6 more. Just a flick of the wrist.
The CPL action lives at KFC as we add an exciting new item to our menu. Introducing the King's Box. The King's Box includes 5 dipping wings undipped, 1 piece of chicken, 1 regular fries, and a 16-ounce soda for only $20. Purchase a King's Box for a chance to win VIP and regular tickets to the King's cricket matches in St. Lucia, KFC vouchers, and other prizes. Participation is simple. Simply sign your name and number on your King's Box receipt and place an entry box provided at all 5 locations. Promotion runs from August 1st to September 16th, 2024. Look out for pop-ups, photo-ops, and memorabilia sign-in from the Kings players at selected stores. The T20 action continues with KFC. Purchase a King's Box today and be on your way. KFC, finger-licking good.
Yes, into the crowd. 6 sixes and an over.
This is We Summer. Get ready for the biggest and wildest deals from Flow.
Summer comes with the best deals for ya. Switch it up, this is We Summer. Flow says this is We Summer. We Summer. Hey.
Who got the best deals? It's Flow. Bundle postpaid Wi-Fi, you go. Cut a bill in half, save more for sure.
This is We Summer. Bundle broadband now with postpaid and get your bill cut in half. Plus, get up to 4 Samsung Galaxy smartphones for only $4.
50,000 in cash is that. 15,000 in cash, win that.
Win $15,000 in cash when you sign up, switch up, top up, or pay up with Flow.
Summer, Flow says this is We Summer. We Summer. Hey.
Flow, keeping you connected. Terms and conditions apply.
It is well known by all St. Lucian professional tradesmen and even homeowners that European-made tools are the best. Well, guess what? Europa Hardware is having a massive promotion on the Metabo brand of power tools. From impact drills to angle grinders, jigsaws to rotary hammers, sanders and hot air guns. All at unbeatable, jaw-dropping prices. Don't let your tools let you down. Come to Europa and stay standing with a proud in-the-hand tool from Metabo. Call us at 452-0763 or visit us in Masat Grozile. Europa, we service what we sell.
Don't miss out on the biggest sale of the year at Palace House. Everything must go. Half off and less on everything. But that's not all. We also offer wholesale prices on a variety of items and souvenirs, perfect for vendors and retail needs. Visit us today at Mikut Street, Castries, or call us at 452-2250. Don't miss out on the biggest sale of the year at Palace House.
It's coming. The brunch of the century. Welcome to Sunburnt. 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 It's coming.
The CPL is back for 2024. And the St. Lucia Kings are hunting for their first title. This year, it will be the best ever CPL with global superstars, massive sixes, and incredible entertainment at the biggest party in sport. There are 4 games between September 7th and 15th. Get your tickets now at cplt20.com. Turn it up and experience cricket played louder.
The gold standard in healthcare. This fully GE certified MRI provides top quality, detailed images detecting any illness including tumors and cancers of the brain and spine. We also offer the ultimate in ultrasound technology. There is absolutely no need to travel overseas for these services. Exercise your right to a second opinion before any complex medical procedure. La Clinique du Corps puts you in direct contact with top medical specialists from Martinique and France, known internationally for prioritizing patients' health. Call La Clinique du Corps in Castries or Cocoville, Rodney Bay at 451-6559 and make your appointment today.
I've seen you here before, and I have something special just for you. What have we here? Happy housewarming to me? That's the MNC Home Depot Rewards Card. You'll earn points every time you shop, plus exclusive savings and promotions just for you. Just for me? Yes, just for you. Shop in store or online and enjoy a seamless experience. So I get to treat myself every time I shop? Exactly. It's time to reward yourself.
MNC Home Depot and Sunbelt Rewards Card. Sign up and reward yourself today at www.mnchomedepot.com.
At Caribbean Pastouche Limited, we offer high-quality products from Martinique, and our ready mix is made with casting sand, not regular pumice. Compared to regular pumice, casting sand saves you in your cement use. At Caribbean Pastouche Limited, our materials come from porcelain stones, which is used as an additive in creating cement. Caribbean Pastouche Limited is located in Bexon, behind Essential Hardware. Give us a call at 489-0074. We're open Monday to Saturday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Sundays 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Caribbean Pastouche Limited. Quality construction, our priority.
We heard from the island's culture minister, among other carnival organizers, that this was the most successful carnival in the history of St. Lucia. But received a few calls today, and the participants, they are saying that they're very concerned because long after the prize-giving ceremony, August the 16th, which was hosted by the Carnival Planning and Management Committee at Sanders Grand, they are yet to receive their rewards, and that is the cash prizes that are owed to them. Apparently they don't want to come forward and do so, publicly and state their concerns with regard to this. But, the police commissioner's favorite word, I suspect, is conduit. So they're using me, using this broadcast as a conduit to get the message across to the CPMC and other carnival organizers. The people, those people who participated in carnival, who won prizes, they want their money. Now, you'd have expected that during that prize-giving ceremony on the 16th of August, they would have gotten their prizes at that particular event. But apparently, that is not the case. So I received a call from a Calypsonian and also one of the individuals who served as a judge for the various activities for Carnival, and they are very, very concerned. We have a call via WhatsApp. It's the NewsSpin poet. He's online. Good afternoon.
Tim, can you hear me properly?
Loud and clear, sir. Good afternoon to you.
Okay, good afternoon. By and large, I have tried my best to ignore you. I've made the odd remark here and the odd remark there. Personally, I think your talents as an advocate are exceptional. But the way that you twist the truth and present things in such a way that it is taken out of context, just so that it suits your narrative, is beginning to bore me. Last night, I asked my grandmother the meaning of the Creole expression sans honte. And the explanation that she gave me left me with greater appreciation for it. My God, Grandma, what a contradiction. How can a man who has openly insulted women, a man who has engaged in all forms of body shaming, imagine, Grandma, he even went as far as putting up parts of women's bodies on screen to further humiliate them, and yet he accuses other people of personal attacks and degradation? Grandma, what type of person is that? My God, Grandma, what a contradiction. How can a man who has been captured on video multiple times displaying violent behavior accuse others of inciting violence? How can a man who openly endorsed the statements of an early morning talk show host who was inciting violence accuse others of preaching violence? What kind of man is that? But Grandma, I don't understand. What a contradiction. How can a man who was accused of every known sin, called every name under the sun by the Labour Party, yet now be so far up the rear of the very people who label him as the scariest thing to ever enter St. Lucian politics, pretend like he's suffering from amnesia? Grandma, what a contradiction. How can a man accuse others of associating with convicted criminals, yet his very own attaché is a convicted criminal? Saki Ivo, Ishmo. But Grandma, he's like some annoying hemorrhoid that just doesn't seem to go away. Isaki hemorrhoids la. Oh, don't worry about it, Grandma. It's too complicated to explain right now. It's just that he's barely tolerated by his cabinet colleagues, but today he embraces them and behaves like he's more red than the period of a virgin from Fonsaint-Jacques. Fonsaint-Jacques ni virgins. How you know that? You're speaking from experience, my son. Grandma, what happened to you? Let's not stray from the point. But Ishmael, I tell you already, Munsa son sans honte. Grandma, he's not even a member of the party. His application for membership hasn't even been approved yet. Doesn't that make him only an associate or an ally of the party? Or in our colloquial language, a Zelev of the party? Yet he has the audacity to call other people Zelev? Grandma, do you know Dr. Anthony once said to tell him to stay in his section? I guess he just forgot to add Sahot. But then that same Dr. Anthony also said, never be surprised at what happens in politics. I guess, Grandma, that one was a dose ball, because now, reluctantly on their part, they too have embraced him. Double Sahot. 1 6 Sahot on their part and the other 6 Sahot on his part. Si sa ka di la vwe, let me tell my mind, nou te ka di SLP translates to c'est la po pistache. Si sa ka di la vwe, isam yo still la po pistache. Grandma, he calling people couteau de langue, but wait, was he not the one who said that he ate his vomit? Tiboy, last a bit mwen had do, moun salasyon sans honte. On Thursday last week, Grandma, he said that God doesn't like ugly. Grandma, when I heard him say that, I almost fell off the sofa. I was so shocked. Why were you shocked, my love? Because, Grandma, if God doesn't like ugly, I was wondering what God must be feeling about him. Well, Grandma, I think he should remain quiet. But he can't, because as you said, il sait on sans honte. Well, Grandma, I think that he should stop using certain phrases because it is making him look like a first-class jack in the box. Grandma, I wish that more of us could open our eyes and start seeing through this man's bullshit. He has taken Sahontism onto another level. No one deserves the title of Sahont more than him. But Grandma, why do we tolerate such nonsense? Well, my son, you need to ask yourself, what does that say about us?
Thank you so much. The NewsSpin Poet 4522979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, and that is 716-2026. And let's see if we could go through some of your WhatsApp messages. Okay, I was about to go through a WhatsApp message, but we have a call. Good afternoon to you. You are on the air. Hello?
Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon to you.
Team, how are you?
I'm okay. How about you?
The team. I miss Kimani.
Yes, don't we all?
Yes, Tim. I made an observation some time ago, and let me share it with you. The St. Jude's fire was on 9th of September 2009, right?
Yes.
Okay. That's 999. So I'm just wondering if maybe 911 was tried on us. And I noticed another pattern again, Tim. Most times we have hospital fire, Soufre Hospital, Victoria Hospital, most fires, what again? Where we had another fire at the horse race. We have to sit down and ask ourselves, what political party was in opposition? Because I don't think it's coincidence that we having, at this particular time, we have St. Jude's fire on its own. I don't know if there was ever an investigation done into the cause of the fire, but that was a very mystic fire. That fire, something about that fire from the time it happened, it has always been on my mind. The Soufre Hospital. You remember in how many months did Soufre Hospital caught fire? Twice?
Yes, I remember.
All right. Tim, to me, when I think about it, these things are not coincidence. If we sit back and we...
Hello? Okay, I think we have lost the caller. Well, ma'am, you'll have to call back. Your call just failed. 452-2979, 452-2979. Once again, your WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. We have a tendency in St. Lucia to just, in the case of the reporters, just report on fires. And in the case of the fire personnel, just respond to them without there being a thorough investigation to determine the cause of such incidents. So with regard to the St. Jude Hospital fire, I don't think we have ever received an explanation as to why this fire occurred, as well as the fires that you made reference to at the Soufre Hospital. Another call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon. You're on the air.
Hi, Tim. Good day.
Good afternoon to you, sir.
Yes, Tim. My condolences to you and your family, Tim.
Why?
Well, I know you're not on on Friday, were you?
No, I wasn't. No.
Oh, okay. I heard. Okay. Anyway, Tim, do you know the status of Tyson the dog?
No, I don't. I would like to assume that he's very much in action. But that is just too much work for one dog,
in training, you mean?
Too much work for one dog. I think he's assumed his duties.
You're thinking, Tim. You're not sure.
He has assumed his duties, sir.
Tim, I don't think you should be assuming to a man like me, you know. When I call your show and I ask you something, if you don't know, tell me you don't know, Tim.
But he has assumed his duties.
All right, he has assumed duties.
Yes, he hasn't?
Well, I'll let you pass on that one. I'll let you pass. Not that you're right. I know you're not right, but I'll let you pass. But I asked the question for a particular reason.
Okay, what's that reason?
Tim, let's go on, Tim. Let's go on. I will update you before I end. Tim, what is the problem? Why do you think that the Deputy Commissioner of Police, Mr. Shalry, is not being given an opportunity to act in the position of commissioner?
Why do I think it's not a fact? But I think because of the skirmishes he has had in the past for political reasons, etc. Maybe that's why he's being overlooked. What is your answer?
It's a fact, Tim. It's a fact that he has never acted commissioner. That's a fact.
Yes.
So I am asking you, why do you think he has not been persons who are junior to him are going past him. And I'm asking you,
Caller, if you have an opinion on the matter,
and
just,
if
you have an opinion on it, just express your opinion, sir. What is your opinion?
Tim, I can tell you, I believe that Mr. Shalry broke the back of this current government during the time of the COVID match that they pulled. He was still the Deputy Commissioner of Police. He was acting in that position. He was the Deputy Commissioner when he challenged Mr. Frederick. For some reason, he did not arrest Mr. Frederick. And boy, I don't know if it would have been worse for him if he had. But I'm sensing that from that time, he went into the black books of the SLP. And knowing Mr. Wayne Shalry as good as I know him, I am surprised. I am surprised that Mr. Shalry is being treated like that, you know. Because I know when Mr. Shalry came in, he was very much on the books. What changed that? I don't know. And I don't think it's just the COVID match, the illegal COVID match. Tim, I have no issues with Mr. Vanguard, but I don't believe that's a good move for many, many reasons. Mr. Vanguard left the force and was detached to the Bodily Correctional Facility probably close to 10 years ago. A lot has happened, a lot has changed, a lot has happened to the force during that time. And when I listen to Mr. Gad's opening statement there, his opening speech, I'm not impressed. Although he said he's not a man of words, but what you say can tell us a story about you, you know, in your maiden address.
Mm-hmm.
I don't support that move to bring Vanguard back. I know that the Police Welfare Association, during the time that Mr. Daisy was brought back on contract, certain persons said the police felt a particular way about Mr. Daisy. And statements were made to the media, some were even forwarded to certain politicians. And I felt that Mr. Daisy served well. Persons felt at the time that there were persons within the force that could have taken up the position. I, at the time, was a member of the force. I felt that Mr. Daisy was the better person at the time, or the best person at the time. Bringing in Mr. Gad now, when all those persons at the membership felt could have taken up the role, when they are still there, I think it's a shock to most police officers that Mr. Gad was brought back. Mr. Gad, like I said, I have no issues with Mr. Gad, but I believe that Mr. Gad is not the most experienced person in the force right now. He was not even a well-rounded supervisor, even when he was a police officer, because he only worked in one area. And I think that's a disadvantage for him. But Tim, let's go back to Tyson again. If I'm correct, Tim, at the start of September, this month we're in there, I think we started this month on either 50 or 51 homicides. True or false?
Yeah, and we had about 60 now.
No, I'm asking you, when the month of September started, we had only 51 homicides. Can you recall that?
We were about that, yes.
So it means that today, the 9th of September, we have moved to at least 8 homicides in 8 days, right?
Yeah.
Tim, that's a very poor record, very poor showing. And Mr. God would need all hands on deck. All hands on deck. If he has to pull through in 6 months, Because in 8 days, we have had 8 homicides. And it does not look very good for us because we're getting into the festive period of the year where on record, we record either the most, during that time we record the most homicides or fatalities, road fatalities. Just look back on the record. That's what it is. We have to do better than what we are doing. And I agree with you. The Prime Minister and the leaders of this country need to get their heads on top of their shoulders where it's supposed to be. Stop. We play too much games with this country. Everything is politics in this country. And it is affecting the core of the country. Nothing is... Tim, if I wasn't the person I was, and the person I know myself to be, I could advise my friends. Let me tell you, stay indoors, stay away from trouble, stay away from the public as much as you can. Tim, because you have no protection out there, You have no protection. We have no protection. We go to church, we're vulnerable. We go to our public activities, we're vulnerable. We go to the beach, we're in trouble. If the good people of this country stay quiet, remain quiet, Tim, this country is going to grind to a halt. I can see it happening. But anyway, Tim, I'll be listening, I'll be tuned in. I want to hear any reaction on that call that I made there. Thank you very much, Tim.
All right, sir. Thank you so much. Well, it's very chilling hearing this from a former senior police officer. That we have no protection. Not that I'm so surprised, but to hear it coming from a police officer, that our lives are in danger on every occasion that we step out of our homes. And even, in certain instances, it's rare for now, when we are at our homes. You have home invasions occurring in this country as well. We have another call. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air.
Hi, good day, Kim.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to you.
And your listeners. I don't know how you're able or how other callers are able to get that line. It's very difficult to get that. But anyway, let me just touch on a few points here. Did you hear that the government give an increase on the guys who perform at Carnival?
Yes, in prize monies, yes, some of the performers. I think the Calypsonians, the Power Soca artists, etc.
And it's been 2 months now since Carnival has been over, and nobody has gotten it paid.
More than that, you've had a prize-giving ceremony. So, August 16th, if you have a prize-giving ceremony, it's to give me my prize along my trophy and my check.
Sure.
To me, that's common sense. That's should be standard procedure.
Yeah, and to make it worse, if a price increase. Yeah. Secondly, do the police or the guards on the water protecting the borders, do those guys have drones?
I'm not too sure if they have drones. I don't think we've reached that point yet. I'm not too sure.
Wow. And how much you think a drone can be? Like to purchase a few drones? Because the problem you see we are facing in this country today, yes, crime is one of the major ones. But little things like bikes, scooters, motorbikes, and those things are coming from the other border just by in Martinique. And those bikes are roaming the road on a daily basis, whether it's in communities or in Castries, the capital itself. And hardly you hear anybody get arrested. So if you're talking about big bikes are coming to this country and you would hear the story besides them, what about the guns? When those guns come on yachts or those small fishing boats moving back and forth, and what are and maybe those guys would know the time that the police would be operating underwater to know at what time they can exit to come in this country. So once those guns happen to cross the borders, now I'm not just saying it's only from Martinique and those close countries it's coming from, but we all know in Martinique it's easy to purchase a gun, just like some states in the U.S., you know? So, I mean, somebody, a Martinican who has his ID and whatnot, can just able to purchase a gun at a store and do whatever he wants with it by sending it back door and stuff like that. These are serious problems. So right now you find a lot of business places, a lot of business people, they even maybe, I want to say, afraid to open certain business in this country. You know, because we do not have the protection of our government with the police, you know, safeguarding us in many, many ways. The other thing is we will always have a shot of police roaming the streets or maybe, you know, doing what they have to do, because every session will have a few policemen. It's not, you no longer see security, it's policemen safeguarding certain areas. So there is a block hole in an area, there is something somewhere down south, down up north, wherever it is, there is 3-4 policemen there. And these policemen, most of them are that are doing security there, they are the professional ones, those that work with CID, and is not just not just the traffic police you find in that secure in those areas. So where do we stand from there? I can't recall when last they have recruited 200-300 policemen on the street. So many drivers driving without a license, without insurance, and falling into accidents, drunk drivers, police reaching on this scene, and those guys. And that have encountered me a few times. I have a few vehicles on the road, and in September, about 4 months ago, one of my vehicles had an accident with a driver, and the man has no insurance. The police, I had to be begging him to pawn the vehicle and go with it, you know, and God knows, I don't know if when they reach wherever, they just release the guy's vehicle, you know, because the guy have no insurance. And yes, I got paid, but it was a whole heap of back and forth before that happened, you know. So when we have so many policemen just securing areas where they have pets and certain things, then we have a serious problem in protecting our nation. And it's a serious one. And that's why crime will never be at a stand, and I hope Mr. Vingard can find in little ways, loopholes whatsoever, to have his men to do what they have to do and to get to a closure of those problems. You know?
Okay, Kola. All right, thank you so much. With regard to our porous borders, we hear that ever so often. Obviously, the authorities would have to utilize technology, whether it's drones or other methods to protect our borders, to ensure that those illegal guns, those illegal firearms and ammunition do not enter our shores. We need to do a lot more. Via WhatsApp, somebody says, last year police, they took 8 months to pay the police not surprised. And referring there again to the organizers of Carnival and ensuring that the participants are rewarded for their hard work. So we hope that in time you'll be getting what is due to you in terms of the participants, those people who won prizes. All right, we have a missing dog notice, and let me share that information with you. And the person says they're offering a reward of $300 that's being offered for the return of a lost dog. The white poodle answers to the name of Summer. She has tinges of brown around her mouth and on her paws. Her hair is curly. The white poodle is 10 years old and her front teeth are missing. She has been spayed and does not experience heat cycles. She is easily spooked by thunder, fireworks, and other loud noises. Summer went missing on August the 17th in the lower Sunbelt area during a thunderstorm. She was then spotted in Independence City and finally at the base of the Entrepot Hill on August the 25th. Summer can be a long way from her last sighting, since a wandering dog can travel quite a distance in a short time. If Summer is found, please call 712-6778. That is 712-6778. A $300 reward is being offered for her return. So once again, here's hoping that if you have seen Summer or you're in possession of Summer, her owner would like to get possession of her, and that individual is offering a $300 reward for precious Summer. Still to come in the broadcast, more of your calls and your WhatsApp messages. And there was another shooting on Saturday, over the weekend, that is on Saturday. I'll tell you all about it. This is the most monitored talk show in the world.
There is only one option when they arrive. Our services will make the dead look alive. With Bouteille and Beaufort accessibility. Remember, we have the only private cemetery. No one can match our prices from coffins to corsage. Personalized service you get when Lazarus take charge. Quality service, no package to make your wallet bleed. Lazarus is your true friend in your time of need.
Lucilex remote options are available to serve you every weekday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Call or send a WhatsApp message to 285-6796, 285-7859, 285-3593, 285-3329, or 285-8640. Or send an email to customersupport@lucilec.com for assistance. Lucilec encourages you to use the available options for doing business with us remotely.
Good morning, students.
Good morning, teacher.
Let's head back to school.
It's time to get the children ready to head back to school with a back-to-school loan from First National Bank. Get up to $30,000 for all your back-to-school needs. No deposit required, low interest rates, and an easy process. Visit any First National Bank location or call 455-7127 for more information. Let's head back to school with First National Bank. Terms and conditions apply. First National Bank, here for you.
This is We Summer. Get ready for the biggest and wildest deals from Flow.
Summer comes with the best deals for ya. Switch it up, this is We Summer. Flow says this is We Summer. We Summer. Hey.
Who got the best deals? It's Flow. But the postpaid Wi-Fi you go. Cut a bill in half, save more for sure.
This is We Summer. Bundle broadband now with postpaid and get your bill cut in half. Plus, get up to 4 Samsung Galaxy smartphones for only $4.
50,000 in cash is that. 15,000 in cash, win that.
Win $15,000 in cash when you sign up, switch up, top up, or pay up with Flow.
Summer, Flow says this is We Summer. We Summer. Hey.
Flow, keeping you connected. Terms and conditions apply.
6 more. Just a flick of the wrist.
The CPL action lives at KFC as we add an exciting new item to our menu. Introducing the King's Box. The King's Box box includes 5 dipping wings undipped, 1 piece of chicken, 1 regular fries, and a 16-ounce soda for only $20. Purchase a King's box for a chance to win VIP and regular tickets to the King's cricket matches in St. Lucia, KFC vouchers, and other prizes. Participation is simple. Simply sign your name and number on your King's box receipt and place an entry box provided at all 5 locations. Promotion runs from August 1st to September 16th, 2024. Look out for pop-ups, photo-ops, and memorabilia sign-in from the Kings players at selected stores. The T20 action continues with KFC. Purchase a Kings box today and be on your way. KFC, finger-licking good.
Yes, into the crowd. 6 sixes and an over.
Gade mweti boy, pa fe la femela.
Stop all that smoke, fume, and noise. Keep the emissions to zero and be a hero for the environment. You can still do all your lawn mowing, brush cutting, leaf blowing, hedge trimming, even chainsawing, but with a battery-powered machine. Europa is now offering a buy one get one free on professional battery tools. When you buy the tool, we'll throw in the battery absolutely free. Yes, you heard right. You get 1 free battery with the purchase of any steel professional machine.
PS la femelle, PS desord. Merci papa.
Visit Europa in Massat, Grosley, or call us at 452-0763. Europa, we service what we sell.
It's coming. The brunch of the century. Welcome to Sunburnt. 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 It's coming.
The gold standard in healthcare. This fully GE certified MRI provides top quality, detailed images detecting any illness including tumors and cancers of the brain and spine. We also offer the ultimate in ultrasound technology. There is absolutely no need to travel overseas for these services. Exercise your right to a second opinion before any complex medical procedure. La Clinique du Corps puts you in direct contact with top medical specialists from Martinique and France, known internationally for prioritizing patients' health. Call La Clinique du Corps in Castries or Cocoville, Rodney Bay at 451-6559 and make your appointment today.
The CPL is back for 2024, and the St. Lucia Kings are hunting for their first title. This year, it will be the best ever CPL, with global superstars, massive sixes, and incredible entertainment at the biggest party in sport. There are 4 games between September 7th and 15th. Get your tickets now at cplt20.com. Turn it up and experience cricket played louder.
To have a strong structure, you must have a strong foundation. And at Caribbean Pastuche Limited, we offer top quality aggregate materials at great prices. We supply high quality ready mix, casting sand and plastering sand. We also take special requests for specific materials that you may require for your building projects. Caribbean Pastuche Limited is located in Bexon behind Essential Hardware. Give us a call at 489-0074. We're open from Monday to Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Sundays, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Caribbean Pastuche Limited. Quality construction, our priority.
I've seen you here before, and I have something special just for you. What have we here? Happy housewarming to me? That's the MNC Home Depot Rewards Card. You'll earn points every time you shop, plus exclusive savings and promotions just for you.
Just for me?
Yes, just for you. Shop in store or online and enjoy a seamless experience.
So I get to treat myself every time I shop?
Exactly. It's time to reward yourself.
MNC Home Depot and Sunbelt Rewards Card. Sign up and reward yourself today at www.mnchomedepot.com.
There was also a shooting incident which occurred on Saturday over in Sarat, according to a source. One man was shot in his thigh, and that's by either an individual or individuals who were in a vehicle at the time. So it's a drive-by shooting incident which occurred on Saturday morning over in Sarat. And that individual, he has been discharged from hospital. We have a final call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air.
Tim, I just want to give you some food for thought. At the weekend, I was reading a book by Joan Didion, and somehow she inspired a reflective mood in me. Mm-hmm. And I started, my mind went in a certain direction. Do you know we have a Santoma girl, young lady, who won a beauty title? Was it Miss World?
I'm not too sure if it's... No, we have never won Miss World, you know.
But what have we won?
But I've heard about this Miss Santoma. I think
maybe one of your callers, even as we speak, will remember.
Yeah.
But I forget her first name. It was Santoma. Okay. I'm going to call a number of names here and see how familiar you are with them. Harry Simmons.
Yes, I'm familiar with Harry.
Arthur Lewis.
Yeah.
George Adlam. Lytton Thomas. Grace Augustine. Nurse John Gay. Hunter Francois. Derek Walcott. Wilfred Sinclair Daniel. Vincent Flosack. Susie Dovan, Geraldine Rock, Kenneth John, Sir Frederick Clark, Mindu Phillip. What's the name of the actor who was in Fresh Prince of Bel-Air? You came in a number of times.
Marcelin? His last name is Marcelin.
Yeah, what's his name?
I can't remember his first name, but his name is Marcelin.
All right, him.
Yeah.
Include him. McDonald Dixon, Alan de Turville, you familiar with that, no?
Yeah.
Bam Charles, John Compton, Pat Brown, Edsel Edmonds, Kenneth
But it's
Morgan.
not Marcel, it's Marcel, yeah. Joseph Marcel.
Okay, Joseph Marcel.
Yeah.
Okay. Ken Morgan, Dudley Stevens, those guys were runners. Mindu Phillip, Laverne Spencer, Patrick Cadet.
Yeah.
Now, those are a number of names that came to mind. Did I say McDonald Dixon as well? Yes.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. And it occurred to me, Tim, that we kill the best of our sons and daughters and bury them in unmarked graves. Would you agree with that?
In what way? What do you mean?
Well, a number of the names I called there were people who move things in the country. Whether we liked them individually, as personally, is absolutely irrelevant. There were people who didn't in England who didn't like Churchill. There are people in the United States who didn't like Martin Luther King as a person. That did not take away from who Martin Luther King was and will continue to be, or Kennedy, or Churchill. Get my point?
Yeah.
So while there were a lot of people who may have, for reasons not like George Adlam, they didn't like George Adlam because of George Adlam's positions that changed politically and so on. But my point is, these were iconic sons and daughters.
Yes,
Bam Charles was a hell of a cricketer. Alan de Turville inspired me to become a bodybuilder. He was a guy who boxed, was good at cricket, he was a runner, and he did bodybuilding. And all of those people served as models for a lot of us. And those names I just called there to you. The point is, any place where you can find photographs and biographies of those names I call there?
No, maybe at the archives, you might be able to get some pictures of him, of those people.
From newspapers. And
yeah,
whatever,
from newspapers.
Margot Thomas goes out of her way to try her best, but what Margot Thomas has been able to do with next to nothing. And it's nothing to shout about. Shout about her, but not the nation respecting our sons and daughters. So, but Margot Thomas has done a pretty good job. But surely there ought to be a place, a respectable place, or even our schools, you would have some of those people's pictures. You know what I'm saying? You go to the House of Parliament, there's no place anywhere in Parliament reserved for people other than politicians. Some of them are scumbags, and they are there perpetuating scumbaggery. And by the way, I have no idea who the poet was referencing a while ago. Do you?
I don't too.
Not a clue. But he gave food for thought, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Whether we know who he's talking about or not, food for thought. And so when you think of all those names, Edsel Edmonds was a scientist, but he did so much of bananas, etc., died recently. Kenneth Morgan was a very good runner. Dudley Stevens, great runner. Minto Philip, cricket. Vincent Flosak, superb lawyer. Wilfred Sinclair, the best speaker, no matter how you come. Let's not talk about Derek Walcott, revered the world over. Nurse Jonge. If you talk to people a little less ancient than I, there are a few of those. They will tell you how this woman, they speak about her. Grace Augustine, one of St. Lucia's first women lawyers, and so on. All of these are people deserving of biographies in our library, their pictures, school children being taught them in general knowledge. We know more about the Kardashians and those people than we know about Hunter Francois or Derek Walker. Yeah, we know more about them, Tim.
That's true.
Susie Dovan.
Yeah.
And when we hear talking about these people, usually it's politicians talking about them. And the politicians who talk about them, most of the time, are attempting to demean them for some political reason or another, especially if one side has said something nice about her. You can count on the other side going out of their way to demean her.
Yeah.
So I put it again, the question to you. Would you agree that we kill the best of our sons and daughters and bury them in unmarked graves? It's time we started talking about people like that, Tim. They contributed a lot to the country, and we are now stuck in reverse. How many St. Lucians can tell you they've read the books of Walcott or even McDonald Dixon? Even McDonald Dixon, who writes plays and whatever. You think the average person, you think McDonald Dixon's name is a household name in St. Lucia?
It is not.
238 square miles?
And it is worth, what you're doing there is so worthwhile. Because.
Oh, by the way, let me not forget to mention the Golden Girl.
Who's that?
The Golden Girl, because she's very useful to the politicians right now. But let her declare in any way that she supports a certain party, which, by the way, I don't understand. Somebody said to me at the weekend that I'd done great things, and therefore he couldn't understand why I supported Alan Chasney. And I asked him, well, what does that even mean, that I support Alan Chasney? The fact that I may support a policy of Alan Chasney, does that mean I support Alan Chasney?
Because I'll tell you what, Rick, if you are critical of this administration, automatically that means you are supporting Alan Chasney, which is so sad. People are not of the belief in this country that you being critical of a political party does not mean, or individual on one political side does not mean that automatically you are a supporter of his political opponents. You're more interested in the betterment of your country.
Well, I don't even want to get so presumptuous, because I've always said you have a right to love your country as you choose to love it, not as somebody said you should love it. Because the very things the person might love about the country, like, for example, what we call laid back, I think we are a lazy country. I think we've been taught to be lazy. I think we don't aspire after anything. We just take what we get and call it God will take care of the rest, because we are bloody well too lazy to strive. We're more interested in survival than in success. Things like that. We are taught those things, Tim. Don't worry to reach too high. And if you've achieved anything, then the whole plan now is to bring you down to the level of the intellectual dwarf, or the moral dwarf is to bring you down. You only have to turn on the TV and to hear our and listen to our podcast to see the nation is involved in bringing down whoever they think has achieved anything. I won't ever forget the attempt to make it look, because I wrote that Walter Francois was a fraud in telling the nation he had won a PhD for what economics?
Yeah.
Or whatever he had won. And he had never gotten any such PhD, and there's a sordid story to that. Some people actually spread around that I had never won any of my titles, that I never wrote my articles that I'm talking. They actually tried that, It's been tried. So those names, we owe it to them every now and again when we're busy quoting somebody who said something Shakespeare.
But as making the point earlier, Rick, that now more than ever, when there's a dearth of such individuals who are selfless, who care about the country, who put themselves up to scrutiny and challenges, when we do not have that the people who replicate that kind of demeanor and attitude right now, there's a dearth. You could there's hardly anyone I could hardly anyone I could point to and say, boy, that person is a living example of what it is.
You like your daughter to emulate?
Yeah, to emulate, and somebody we can look up to, somebody who's selfless, somebody who's not doing things because they're supporting one party or the other.
We both lived in the time of George Hardner.
Yeah.
And I didn't agree with everything he did, and I'm sure you didn't. But if you were to go to Hansard, the record of Parliament, you will find some of the most inspiring speeches there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, don't tell me maybe he just talked and didn't walk the walk. I don't know how much walking Martin Luther King did. Martin Luther King is an icon to the world, not because of his personal life or whatever. It's what he stood for publicly. It's what he wrote. His speeches. That's what is iconic for. That's what he died for. Not whether he was a perfect husband or never committed a sin. You know what I'm saying? But we do that. We expect perfection in others when we are ourselves the epitome of evil and like that. We have too many. I was thinking this. I have a laugh with myself, Tim, about producing this and being born there. I joke with myself. I have a lot of fun reading. While you read, thoughts occur to you. And I'm seeing what a beautiful place St. Lucia is, even when the rain just falls, not the storms, the green, all the things. And we're too scumbagged. We're too much of scumbags to clean our drains. The government has to pay people to cut the bush in front of their homes, Tim.
Yeah.
Those bushes didn't just grow into huge things. They were small on the grass level. We do nothing about that. We have a step program syndrome now. Nobody can hire anybody and pay them at the end of the month or fortnightly. Because I want my money now. Pay them, you got to pay them every day.
Or people want contracts. Too. People want contracts there from the MPs.
and that is encouraged. That is encouraged. Our people now have turned politics into an industry because they've taken it over from the crooked politicians. They now control the politicians. You want my vote? Pay for my vote. And they will walk around with two shirts at election time, Tim, depending. Red and yellow. You know that.
And when that is against the law, Paying somebody to vote for you is against the law, but it happens every day.
Let's not even start with that's against the law, because if we have to talk about things against the law, we will lock up the whole of Parliament. Okay? Because Parliament has broken so many laws, including what passes for a rehabilitation center, the number of people who have been there for years without their cases resolved, the number of people who have been sent to be put in a place for mental rehabilitation. What's it? People with mental problems.
Yeah, the wellness center. Mm-hmm.
They send them up to Baudelaire and so on. We don't have places for these people. So we spend money on all kinds of things to try to get a vote. But putting the people first is the last thing on the minds of governments. So when you talk about criminality and not keeping the law, we would lock up half our politicians because they're responsible for the upholding of the law. But if you look around, there are loads of examples of them being the biggest breakers of the law. Tim, I hope we will start quoting people, because the Al-Hansard, the Senate record and so on, there are a lot of things there spoken by our people, our own people who lived it, that we don't have to quote Trump and we don't always have to quote Martin Luther King. There are things here. Derek Walcott said something to me. It's not written anywhere, and I keep on saying it all the time. Until you have accomplished what you set out to do, you have not done enough. I can't think of a more inspiring line than that. Until you've accomplished what you set out to do, you've not done enough. Thank you very much for your time, Tim. I just thought I'd share that with you.
Thank you so much. Much appreciated. Time now for our NewsSpin News of the Day. That's our final feature, our NewsSpin News of the Day. The latest protests in Cuba are about thirst. Over 600,000 people live without drinking water. Our NewsSpin News of the Day. The latest protests in Cuba are about thirst. Over 600,000 people live without drinking water. That's a broadcast. Thank you so much for watching and listening to another edition of the world's most monitored talk show. My name is Timothy Poleon. Goodbye.